Welcome to the Zero Time Dilemma. For those unaware, this is the third part of the Zero Escape trilogy. As of right now, it is planned to be a trilogy. They may put out a future installment, I can't really say. But this is a series of games that started way back on the Nintendo DS with 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, or as it's sometimes called, 999. Then it received a sequel a few years down the line on both Vita and 3DS called Virtue's Last Reward. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the ability to record those games. I would basically need a modded 3DS in order to record both of those, so if they make the move to PC, that can happen, but I will explain a couple things about this for those of you jumping in at this game, which I really don't recommend because a lot has taken place, and even without having pushed the new game button yet, I can already tell you that you're going to need some of the knowledge from previous games. So to explain how these games work, there is a non-nary game taking place. Non meaning 9, as in 9 players. The very first game actually involved 18 players in 2 sets of 9. Basically, 9 were on a sinking ship, while 9 were in a special facility in the desert, Nevada desert, in the US that is, that was modeled after the ship, and the players inside were given the impression that the ship was sinking, and they were actually on one instead of being in the middle of the desert. So their objective was to have these groups telepathically communicate to one another, sending solutions and other information in order for their combined survival. Now, this sort of did take place, but there were a lot of strings attached to the conditional psychic abilities of these children. Some of which did die, some of which were hurt, such as Snake from the 999 game. And the experiment showed mixed results because the police did interfere with this game and rescue as many of the children as they could. And as a result, the corporation had to put their plans on the back burner. However, in 999, an entity named Zero will kidnap 9 people and put them on a sinking ship to model after the previous experiment. Now, they do not have a set of 9 players in another location to telepathically communicate with. They are basically on their own, and they have 9 hours to get out before the ship sinks. And to further complicate things, they have all had bombs ingested into them. So if they try to break the rules that were established, the bombs would detonate, and that would be the end of some players, such as player number 9 when you get to 999. So you may consider that to be a bit of a spoiler, but he really does die in the first hour, so if you play it, it's not going to catch you off guard. So once that game concludes, you find the 9th door and make your escape. You find out Zero is actually 2 people that were hiding among the players. And then things are all kind of quiet for a while. So Virtue's Last Reward then takes place. 9 other people are abducted and put in a special facility to play a game. Now, instead of the whole number thing going on, this one involves colors, and this is the first time where you actually have to start teaming up with other people. So depending on which route you take, you could be playing solo or be partnered with one person, and then regardless of which one you are, a solo or duo, you do have to work with a total of 3 people through the various puzzle rooms. Now, the big twist on this one is you find out Virtue's Last Reward is actually the 3rd non-airy game. That's playable, that is. Otherwise, it'd be number 4. Your first clue to this is that the moderator of the game is Zero the Third, making you wonder, where is Zero the Second, and then where is the second playable non-airy game? It's right here, folks. So the big twist to Virtue's Last Reward, to spare you a lot of details, is that both the Zero from 999 was present as one of the players, in disguise, sort of. You had 2 returning players from the previous non-airy game. That's the first one you play as, the second one to take place. One of them disguised, one of them not, and the biggest twist, this one is very much a spoiler for the game, but the Zero the Third was actually you. So in this one, we are now taking place in the second playable non-airy game, the 3rd one to take place in the past from Virtue's Last Reward. And this is where Sigma is going to lose his arms if the prophecy holds true. We will be meeting old familiar faces. Both Zero the Third and Zero the First are going to be playing in this. And we'll be dealing with the Zero the Second. So that's kind of a setup for events. I'm trying to leave things a little vague if you want to play it. I had to give away the big spoilers, unfortunately, for those that relate to this. But Sigma, Zero the Third, however you wish to think of him, is a psychic, just like Akane, Zero the First. And their abilities allow them to perceive different spots in time. They can move their consciousness through time, which is why the second game that come out is actually the final one chronologically. So with all the information they gained from the future, they've come back to play the second non-airy game here, which is supposed to be the most dangerous of the bunch. And now that you are up to speed, it is time to play. Coincide. Nevada Desert, DCOM.
Hey, open up!
He's a new player,
Who would do this?
as is she. And
Shit. What's wrong with you?
Someone's one-night mistake?
A mistake?
Maybe Diana's.
This isn't the time for jokes.
she's important. That's Sigma,
Let me guess.
Phi,
That helmet can't come off, can it?
So creepy. I don't want it near me. Where the hell did this thing come from?
Forget it. Shouldn't
That's
we be trying to
Junpei.
get out of here?
the protagonist from the first game.
This is a confinement room.
The bar's only open from the other side.
Nothing to do but ask whoever did this to let us out.
The mastermind's right there. That kid locked us up.
So he was the one who put these on us?
I'll talk about those in a moment.
It wasn't me.
It talks.
And that will be Zero the Second, I believe.
Life is simple. Don't you think? There are moments when a single snake can make a world go extinct.
Go extinct.
What the hell are you going on about?
Who are you?
I'm shooting to a ritual.
Why are you doing this?
I require all of you to take part in a game.
A game?
With the fate of you, me, and the human race in the balance.
Fuck that!
Let's get started, shall we?
Pay attention to how he looks.
Beneath my foot, there's a coin. One side of it is red, while the other side is blue. Which side of the coin is facing up? Make a guess. However, you only get one chance.
Do we get something if we get it right?
No favor. I promise that I will release all of you.
And what if we're wrong?
You die.
You will have to stay in the game until at least 6 of you are dead.
What? Let's go with blue.
It's red.
Right, red. It's gotta be red.
50-50 chance. And the odds for each are the same.
Then we should vote. Wait! I can't believe you guys.
Kane's right. You're just going to do what he says?
What do you think, Carlos? You are the leader of this group. I will take your decision as everyone's final answer.
What are you talking about?
I'll let Carlos choose.
Pick red.
It's blue.
So what do you say, Carlos?
No, Carlos!
Don't answer him!
Time to choose, Carlos. You are that solitary snail. The fate of the world rests on your decision.
Do I actually have a time limit here? Okay, to explain this is most likely your tutorial into the psychic abilities of the Chosen Few. They have the ability to send their consciousness back into time. So if we choose the wrong answer, we can just activate our ability to go back and then choose the correct one. Now, I mentioned there is some significance to Zero the Second's appearance. There is a plague that's threatening the world right here. One of the big twists of Virtue's Last Reward is you find out that it's actually taking place on the moon. This virus that's in play is going to ravage the world if allowed to go unchecked. In doing so, humanity has to, well, the majority has to evacuate, otherwise only the immune to the virus can stay on the surface. This is why, if you see in Virtue's Last Reward, Fi is able to do some really crazy physical acts. The reason for that being is the players are unaware that they are on the moon, which is supposed to have somewhere around a quarter of the gravity of Earth, which is why Fi can jump so freaking high and she can do some of the stuff she does. Now, there are 4 familiar faces here for those of you that are from previous games. Fi and Sigma were the main 2 from Virtue's Last Reward. You have Akane and Junpei from 999. Akane is the original Zero, Sigma is Zero the Third, and I guess Carlos is the character we're going to be behind most of this game, so we won't have either Sigma or Junpei. But let's go with Red. Oh, I forgot to explain the one girl. I'll explain it the next break.
It's Red.
It's blue.
See? Didn't I say it'd be red?
Yeah, whatever.
Well done, Carlos.
Are you some kind of clairvoyant?
It was just luck. I had a 50% chance. It's not too hard to get it right.
Hey, hold on a sec! Okay, sure, you lucked out with your guess. But what if you had gotten it wrong?
What does it matter? Everything worked out fine.
So, are you going to make good on our deal?
Fear not. I'm a fair person. I promised to release you, and I shall. But before that, I apologize that you must all sleep.
Sleep.
Here comes the soap reel.
Forgotten everything that just happened here.
Why would we forget?
I wonder. Pleasant dreams.
I know. You're...
Payoff.
Hey, hold on. Why are we outside?
I have no clue.
When I woke up, we were on the ground over there.
That's Akane, by the way.
Huh?
What is it?
Didn't we all have something attached to our left wrists?
I suppose we might have.
Coin.
Huh?
Nothing. Just saw an image of a coin flash in my mind. It was flipped and falling.
Come to think of it. Damn, I can't remember anything.
Me neither.
Neither can I.
I made a bet with someone, but
Someone?
What kind of bet?
did we all forget what happened?
Hey, could I ask all of you something? Who is this kid?
And that's a bad end, I believe. I have a feeling we were supposed to lose that coin flip. That way we could actually play the game instead of just getting kicked out. See? So while we have a moment, I can explain. Virtue's Last Reward made the switch from bombs, forcing players to play by the rules, to poison inside of their watches, wrist devices, whatever we wish to think of it as. So judging from the way that things look here, that device is probably going to be using poison just like in Virtue's Last Reward, but we won't know for certain. Now, the other girl that I said is important, but I didn't explain who she is the physical model for Luna, I believe, from Virtue's Last Reward. One of the big twists to Virtue's Last Reward is that Luna is an android of sorts, robot, however you should think of it. She was based off of someone important from Sigma's life, and I have a feeling it's going to be the woman here, who may or may not survive. We'll have to wait and see. But then we may not be able to play as Akane or Sigma, because this is supposed to be their future selves, where they know what's going to happen. Basically, at the end of Virtue's Last Reward, I believe Akane, Sigma, and Phi all send their consciousnesses back into the past in order to take part in this game. Junpei, however, is stuck in the future because he is not a psychic, even though he is stuck playing this game. But otherwise, I think we're kind of up to speed. And if they're going to show these full credit things after every single one of the bad ends, I'm going to start cutting these out. The important thing to know is that this game plays out across a web. Each node of the web is a decision you have to make, and you are able to move back and forth through those to unlock everything. And in fact, you usually have to go down one route to get information that will move you forward on another. So as a result, this game may be a visual novel, but it's going to be pretty long. I intend to do a puzzle every video if possible. And unfortunately, near the end of the game, that's where the the scenes between puzzles are going to become really, really long. And I don't know how things are going to play out from there. But otherwise, I imagine this is going to be taking up easily the first half of July and maybe a little bit more, but since I don't have to narrate this, I should be able to record a lot of it in a few sittings. Now, the bad news is I do have quite a few visual novels going on at the moment, so I have to start cutting through these before I can move on to my July projects. Okay, beginning of the end unlocked. The achievement's in the wrong spot for me to be able to see if it pops on your screen or not. But, yeah, apparently hitting the enter key will allow you to skip. So let's drop a save here. I think these may correspond to the big endings of the game, but I'm not totally sure. So let's go back. Now it's time to choose whose fate you will follow first. Select a team to continue the story. Oops. Okay. Each image you see here is a story fragment. Only one is available to you now, but more unlock as the story unfolds. When you're unsure how to control something in the game, click the help button in the top right corner to open the control guide. You can also push back on the controller or F1 on the keyboard. can use... You know what? Let's see. Okay, my controller does work for this. Let's swap over to that. I'll just use the cursor when I need to point something out. So this is the Virtue's Last Reward team, where we have the physical body of Luna, as well as Phi and Sigma. I'm guessing C team is probably the 999 group, where you have Akane, Junpei, and then Q team is going to be the brand new players. So yeah, we'll stick to Team Carlos.
Time to choose, Carlos.
Okay, I can... No, that...
You are that solitary snail.
Oh, we have a memo pad.
Fate of the world.
The up button on the D-pad does nothing. The B button on my controller is fast forward. Well, I guess we can try red again, see if anything changes, but that would be crazy.
It's blue.
That's why I told you red.
Carlos, you asshole! You got it wrong!
Carlos.
What were you thinking?
Hey, wait a second. Carlos isn't the one to be blamed for all this.
Right. The person who started it is.
So, what now?
You should know already. You were wrong, so the game continues.
Until 6 people are dead, huh?
At least 6. It's possible there may be more than that.
Why don't we hurry and get this over with then?
Before we begin, I want all of you to go to sleep.
Sleep?
When next you wake, you will have forgotten everything that just happened
Forget. But why?
there. There's no point in telling you now. You won't remember anything at all. Pleasant dreams.
Okay, my suspicions were confirmed.
Carlos! Carlos!
Akane.
Bastard! What the hell's going on? You brought all of us here!
No! It's not me!
Then what the fuck is that stupid thing on your head?
Let it go, Eric. No need to take it all out on the kid.
Mira?
I wonder what this is.
Give it up, Diana. It's better that you don't force it off.
Why do you say that?
You should listen to her. I get the feeling she's seen it before.
Hint, hint.
Bracelet.
That's what it was called a year ago. Right, Akane?
Junpei.
Good morning. How are you feeling?
Who's this?
I am Zero. The second Zero.
The second?
Let me make one thing clear. This is a recording. So don't bother asking questions as I cannot answer them. I'd like to tell you an old story. 17 years ago, on a rainy morning, a woman went jogging in a large park. Her usual route led her to a fork in the road. Normally she'd run down the right path, but for some reason, this day, she chose the left. Along the way, she bumped into a senior citizen she saw every day. Surprised to see her, they asked, "Why did you come this way today?" This was her reply. Because there was a snail. Her body was discovered a few hours later. Murdered. They found her in some bushes along the left path. Sometimes, life is simply unfair. Don't you think?
What the hell is all this nonsense?
It's the same for all of you. The pull of an unjust fate carried you along to this moment. Only to find yourselves in this bomb shelter 50 meters below ground.
Wait, what?
As you can see, this place is divided into 3 sections. Carlos, Akane, and Junpei, you 3 are in Ward C. You will henceforth be referred to as C-Team. Your leader shall be Carlos. Next is Q, Mira, and Eric. You are located in Ward Q. Your name will be Q-Team. As evidenced by the name, the leader is Q.
Hey, wait!
Is this a joke?
And finally, Diana, Phi, and Sigma. Ward D is where the 3 of you are. Diana is the leader. That makes you the D-Team. You may wander as you like, as long as you remain within your respective wards. There is a time limit, however. 90 minutes. Once 90 minutes are up, an injector in your bracelet will activate. And an anesthetic and an agent to erase your memories will be administered.
Memory erasing drugs?
As a result, you'll all fall into a deep, uninterrupted sleep. But you will also forget everything that occurred in those past 90 minutes.
What?
The bracelet has an additional function. A watch. Pressing the buttons on each side simultaneously will display the time.
12:10.
Today is December 31st, New Year's Eve. The year turns over in less than half a day. Unfortunately, very few of you will find yourselves able to welcome a new 2029. Take a look at the door. It's clearly marked with an X. Beyond this X door is a hallway with an elevator. Riding the elevator up will take you above ground. There's no other way out. The door is easy enough to open. Simply obtain the X passes and enter them into the input device beside it. 6 X passes are needed for it to unlock. 1 X pass will be announced every time someone dies. In blunter terms, if 6 of you die, the rest will gain all of the passwords and will be able to open the X door.
This is bullshit.
One caveat. The door remains open for only 30 seconds. Once that passes, it will automatically close and never open again. Oh yes. With this information, surely some of you at this point are thinking, how can I kill 6 people?
What? No one would.
I'll give you one opportunity. By majority vote, determine one team to execute.
What?
Do you see the computer in the corner of the room? The team names of your newfound enemies will be displayed on that monitor. Choose the team you've decided to eliminate. Each team gets 1 vote. The leader must submit it for the group. Your deadline is 13:30. Any team that hasn't voted before the time limit is up shall be penalized 2 votes. The group with 2 or more votes will lose. Every member of that team will be executed. Let us begin. This is the decision game, a game of fate. The lives of you, me, and the human race hang in the balance.
A grain of sand unlocked. So I should explain one other thing, since we now have a name for this girl, Diana. Diana, I believe, is the Roman name of Artemis, the goddess of the hunt or the goddess of the moon. And if you remember in Virtue's Last Reward, she's the model for the robot Luna. Now, if you're not familiar with who Luna is, beyond just being a robot, she is the Eternal Optimist type. In Virtue's Last Reward, you're encouraged to betray one another. Luna is the one character who will never betray anyone. So I think that's a reflection of Diana's character. She's probably going to be the Eternal Optimist and always trustworthy. Now, in Virtue's Last Reward, you did have a character named Dio who would never actually honor anybody. He would always, always, always betray. So the question is, who is going to fill in Dio's role? We'll stick with Carlos's team for the next one. So far, I do not care for the navigation. Hopefully it'll grow on me, though.
So this is the last room.
Yes. We've checked everywhere we could.
It's just as Zero said, huh? There's no way to get out, except by opening the X door.
50 minutes left until the vote deadline.
Don't tell me you want to vote.
How can we not? If we refuse, C-Team gets 2 votes automatically. We'll die.
But
Hey, do you think this could be part of the experiment? DCOM's whole psychological test.
Nope.
What? Why?
That masked guy called himself Zero. I have no clue why he's here, but he's for real.
So that means he's actually willing to kill off a whole team?
Yeah.
But how?
He said that there's an anesthetic in our bracelets, right? So we'll be sleeping and then bam! Or maybe... There's a bunch of different ways.
if only there was a way to contact someone on the other teams.
Why would you need to reach them? What, you're planning on begging them not to vote C-Team or something?
Well, no, but I thought, why not spread out the votes?
What do you mean?
Remember what Zero said? The group with 2 or more votes will lose.
I get it. Maybe C-Team could vote for D-Team, D-Team for Q-Team, and Q-Team for C-Team. Then all the teams would have 1 vote each.
And that'd make it a 3-way tie. And no one would have to die?
But how do we make sure they know to do it? Hey! Mira! Eric! Diana!
Phi! Sigma! Can you hear us?
It's not working.
Damn it.
Hey, Akane, why don't you try using the morphogenetic field?
Huh? Morphogenetic field?
Let the game end where I treat two. What's this supposed to mean?
The game will end, and something about two people? I guess the tough part is figuring out treat. If it's like trick or treat, then maybe it means there's a reward or a gift or something.
But it could also mean treatment, which would imply being cared for.
Either way, it doesn't make sense.
Hey, anyone know what this thing could be?
A box?
What's inside of it?
Maybe some kind of white smoke.
Automate Bako?
You've heard of it, Carlos?
Urashima Taro, right? Japanese folklore. Something about jumping through time, I think.
This label says Force Quit Box.
What's that?
Looks like there's a keyboard.
There's probably a password that goes there.
Then something ends if you punch it in?
But what, though?
Maybe the game Zero's making us play.
Wait. You really think Zero'd put something that easy here?
It seems like it wouldn't even have to be a box for that.
Didn't think it'd work.
Just pressing random buttons isn't going to solve anything. So, what now?
What can we do?
Maybe we should just get this voting business over with.
Junpei.
No, we still have some time.
Come on, man, you're supposed to be the leader here.
How the hell did we get into this mess anyway? Do you guys have any ideas?
Okay, I was beginning to think about what there would be for gameplay segments in here. But one thing I should talk about personality-wise, Junpei and Akane seem backwards. Since Akane was the first Zero, she has a body count, as you may have guessed. Generally, killing for her should have been something that comes a little easier, but I guess they're trying to make it sound like she only kills out of necessity. And then Junpei was pretty optimistic, but he was betrayed by Akane because she was Zero. So, I guess that made him jaded or something, I'm not entirely sure. But let's start with who is Zero.
Who is Zero?
To be accurate, you should probably ask, who is the second Zero instead?
Then that means there has to have been a first one, right?
Yeah, there is.
You know him?
Sorta. I brought it up earlier. Bracelet a lot like this one has been strapped to my wrist before. It happened last year. Akane and I were trapped somewhere. The person responsible back then was named Zero.
But I don't think that one has anything to do with this one.
It's gotta be connected.
Just, please, believe me.
She's right.
So right there, Junpei knows who she is, just in case you didn't know. But the thing is, Junpei is not a psychic, so he does not know about the Virtue's Last Reward game. Akane should. So he doesn't know that there will be one strapped to his wrist in the future.
Why is Zero doing this?
To make us play a game, right? This decision game or whatever.
With the fate of mankind on the line.
So it's true.
Do you know something, Akane?
I think if we end up losing this game, we're all going to die. 6 billion people will.
So what Sigma said back then up in DCOM was.
At this rate, 6 billion people will die.
Yes, what Sigma said is the truth. Have you ever heard of the term Reverie Syndrome? What causes it is unknown. Neither the nerves nor the brain have abnormalities. But somehow, this disease causes you to stop reacting to a variety of stimuli. I've heard there are people from all over the world who have become affected by this.
Hey, hold up. How does this and what we were talking about before go together?
Shouldn't you know already?
Huh?
A crisis. Mankind is currently facing what is clearly an unprecedented crisis. Those affected are sensing its coming.
Reverie syndrome.
You've heard of it?
Yeah, kinda. Akane Kurashiki. Junpei Tenmyoji. You're both Japanese, right?
Yes?
And you both lived in Japan when you were kids. You even went to the same school. So you're childhood friends.
Who told you that?
Sigma. He mentioned it back in DCOM. We all lived in close quarters in that facility for 5 days. Information spreads fast. So, whose idea was it for you to join?
Huh?
The DCOM experiment. You two signed up together, right?
No, we didn't. We did this on our own.
Wait, you're telling me you guys just happened to bump into each other at DCOM?
It wasn't a coincidence. It was inevitable. Why did you subject yourself to this circus?
I didn't mention it before? I kinda really need a lot of cash. They said they'd give us $500,000 if we joined up.
Huh. Color me surprised. Thought a hero of justice had no need of money.
A what?
Didn't you say you're a firefighter? A really good one? You faced off against danger and saved a whole bunch of people. Sounds like a hero to me.
I just have good instincts. Doesn't seem to matter where I find myself. They're pretty good at telling me which path has death at the end.
Do you hear something?
Over there.
Gab!
Where did you come from?
Looks like you made it here using this vent.
Does that mean it's connected to the surface?
I don't think so. A vent to the surface would defeat the purpose of a bomb shelter.
So he came from another ward then?
It's too dark, I can't see anything. But Ward Q is down that direction, right? Think you can fit in there, Akane?
No, there's no way.
Someone likes cake too much.
Oh, I know. Let's cut off Junpei's arm. He should be able to fit through then.
Hey, Mira! Eric!
No answer, huh?
Hey, Gab. Did they steal you away from DCOM too?
But why the dog?
Maybe they felt bad about leaving him alone up there?
Baloney. You really think Zero'd do us any favors?
Hold on. I think I got an idea that may work. This case, it holds medication, doesn't it?
Uh-huh. It's empty.
Did that bastard Zero take the meds?
I still think this could work. We can use it. Wait a sec.
A beer coaster and a pen.
I found them on the counter of the bar.
There's something written on it.
Oh, I did that.
Hello, Carlos here. C-Team is voting for D-Team. So D-Team should vote for Q-Team, and Q-Team for C-Team.
Oh! You're going to put it in the case and have Gab go through the vent.
Cross your fingers he can get to Q-Team.
You really think it'll be that simple?
So we shouldn't?
Well, I guess we don't have anything to lose. Why don't we give it a shot?
What did you throw?
Cheese. Picked it up with the coaster. Was over there on the counter.
Why don't we just toss in some ketchup and pickles too? Maybe next time he comes back, he'll be a hot dog. It was a joke.
Five minutes left.
Gab's not come back.
Let's just vote, Carlos. Like I said, if we forfeit...
I know!
Hey, there's one thing we can do.
What is it?
You remember what you wrote on the Gab letter?
The what?
The message we sent the furry pigeon to deliver? C-Team is voting for D-Team, so D-Team should vote for Q-Team and Q-Team for C-Team.
Yeah? So what?
So, vote for Q-Team instead.
What? Junpei, you can't be suggesting. If we do that, they'll end up with 2 votes and...
Yep, Q-Team will be out. Granted, this whole thing is assuming our initial plan works. The note makes it to D-Team, and Diana votes the way we want her to. Think about it for a second. 6 people have to die or we're never getting out of this bomb shelter. Those are the rules of the decision game according to Zero. Balancing the votes won't do us any good. We'll just end up falsely prolonging someone's death.
Junpei,
The deadline to vote is in 3 minutes.
Come on, Carlos, vote for Q-Team.
no, you can't!
I'm afraid his expression just isn't selling it for me. But we're going to adhere to the original plan and vote for D-Team. In case you're wondering, I will go back and get the other one before this video ends.
Your vote has been accepted.
Ah, I was worried you weren't going to do it, Carlos.
You'll see, Akane. Just because we did what we said we would doesn't mean this will work. Hell, we don't even know if our note reached the other teams or not. And even if it did, there's no guarantee they did what we asked. 2 possibilities will come out of this. The 3 members of D-Team will die.
Or it's our heads on the chopping block.
90 minutes have passed. Your time limit has ended. Sleep well, as the next game will begin when you awake. Unfortunately, the team who receives 2 votes will be unable to participate. One final thing. You've gone through with the vote exactly as I commanded. You deserve a reward for obeying. The memory loss drug will not be injected into the 3 pill. When you next wake, those who survive will be able to regret the decision. As all members of a single team will perish as a result of the vote you entered. Pleasant dreams.
Okay, as promised, we are going to go back here and we're going to vote the other way. So this should cut us straight to the decision. Come on. I don't really know how loading times compare between the different versions, I'm afraid. I'm not entirely sure what that whole clock thing is supposed to be exactly.
Your vote has been accepted.
Carlos, why?
Smart move.
Minutes have passed. Your time limit has ended. Sleep well, as the next game will begin when you awake. Unfortunately, the team who receives 2 votes will be unable to participate. One final thing. You've gone through with the vote exactly as I commanded. You deserve a reward for obeying. memory loss drug will not be injected into the three of them. When you next wake, those who survive will be able to remember their sins. And all members of a single team will perish as a result of the vote you entered. Pleasant dreams.
Coming up on 90 minutes unlocked. So nothing has changed here, and it looks like we have to go through the voting segment for all of the groups. Now, unfortunately, I think there's going to be some text for each of these. So I'm going to put a break here, and the next part will probably be the executions for D and Q teams. But otherwise, I want to see the flowchart before I... Oh, okay, so yeah, these unlock as you do both sides. And then if we were to look here, we have both finished, so yeah, the only thing we have to do is actually go to the next part. But anyway, that will probably be tomorrow, and we'll see if the next part can be even longer. I have to see how long these fragments actually are before I can determine a consistent length. But we've been going at it for 50 minutes, so this is a good time as I need to quit. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.